Hello and welcome to another edition of The Hurry Up on Alternative Sport. I'm your host, Andre Dixon, here with my friends. We survived the London Games. We made it through the other end. Obviously, it's been very, very, very busy. I'm here with Sam Morgan. How are you, sir? My bestie, Hannah Wilkes. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Slightly less smug than Sam, but most people are.
Yeah, don't worry. As I said, it's only a matter of time. I want it to happen just at the right time.
Oh, it's going to. I'm looking to the Packers. I'm looking to the Packers.
That's right.
The saltiness.
Wearing the wrong jersey
you know me,
today.
I'm bitter and twisted. It's who I am.
Yes, you see, me and Hannah are part of the same club, waiting. Right, so we as we just discussed, like we have, and you have enjoyed the London Games, and I hope you guys got to make it over. And the lucky few that got to get in the stadium, witness some amazing atmospheres, great football, exciting ends, so forth. Hannah, how do you feel that London Games went? And most importantly, who do you want to come over next year?
The same one everyone wants to see come next year. The team that we haven't seen over here is the Packers, right? That's right. Is it just the Packers at this point?
Packers only.
Just the Packers. So we want the Packers. And I think it's going to be 3 games over here next year and a German game as well. The NFL has obviously got a huge commitment to growing its international game series. And going forward, I believe that every team is going to play international games. That's now part of the whole shebang, the whole deal. So sit tight, Packers fans. Your time will come. Maybe they'll go to Germany just to annoy you. But still,
oh my lord!
No. It's cheap flights. No, I thought the atmosphere was great, and it was brilliant. It was that combination of like the added excitement of after a 2-year gap, but then also in a lot of ways it felt like those games had never been away. Everyone was like straight back into the swing of it. Everyone was doing meetups the night before games, and like there were pubs around London that were dedicated team pubs. So the whole buzz around all of London was great. The Saturday before the Jets Falcons games, I was out and about and I was seeing like jerseys everywhere and people dressed up, and you see 2 people in jerseys, different teams, they kind of look at each other across the street and there's like a little nod, like I see you, we're friends, we're buddies, we're pals. And then the Jags Dolphins game, in 10 years, having worked across 8 of these London games in a variety of guises, it was the first time I actually got to go as a fan. So that was really nice. I put on my number 10 jersey, my Rams jersey. And it was great. It's just such a lovely atmosphere. I will say, vis-a-vis Cupgate, because I think this is worth saying. Yes, it did all start out as some jolly light-hearted fun, but as always, people took it too far and it was unpleasant. I was in a stand where cups were being thrown and I was luckily in like that sort of sweet spot where none were landing, but there were people getting hit on heads and people getting quite stressed out by it. So fun and games, but people, can we just respect a limit? And like when it's happened 5 minutes ago, if you're right up on the top, stop pelting the cups. It's boring and those things gather momentum and force.
Exactly. Good. So good. I'm glad you said that actually.
Yes, it did start out lighthearted. And I know people have like been on Twitter like, oh, why is everyone making a big deal of this? And yes, it was fun to start with. And seeing those cup snakes was entertaining. But there is a line, respect the line, because it made a lot of people feel uncomfortable. That said my piece. And it was great to see the Jaguars get a win. It felt like they won the Super Bowl in that game. The way it went on.
the London Bowl, they won that.
They did. A Florida derby in London.
Honestly, that was I'm glad you actually said that about the cups. Obviously, just before Sam comes in, we was in the media section. And obviously, we were lucky to be there. But obviously, people were there working. They got their laptops, which they've obviously spent stupid amount of money to be able to get. If not, they're responsible for it, and their companies will charge them for it personally. And you got these cups.
They should work with better companies. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, well, there's these cups that fly over with beer still in it, and it's just like I go one step further. At the end of the day, is I think that if you get caught throwing one of them, they need to set an example, set the tone by just kicking people out. First time you do it, that's the end of that. Should have kicked the guys out who was doing the keeping all those cups, because obviously you're encouraging people, morons, to be able to be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do it as well. and it's just like it's idiotic. It's ruining people's fun, and then all that happens is that it's another yet again in the UK a bad advertisement of us as fans who can't behave ourselves. Unfortunately, yet again in the same year. Sam.
I'm not going to be negative Nancy. I'm going to go with all the positive spin here. Yes, the cups, whatever. I think leading up to that, the first game they were doing it, there was no trouble. It seemed to be just in that second game. What I will say though, the buzz, the atmosphere from the offset, getting on that tube up to the game. What was nice, you got the Americans that had come over. Some hadn't been out of the country for almost 2 years. You know, they're here in London, able to watch and support their team. It was great. Got to see some great faces that, again, we haven't seen for like the last sort of couple of years as well. So really good from that point of view. I thought the games were probably a little bit better. I know that when I say the actual games, I'm talking the atmosphere. I think so many more people are now understanding the game a little bit more, when to be quiet, when to shout, when to support, and obviously picking up the players a little bit more as well. So overall, I really enjoyed it as ever. Obviously getting to see us behind the scenes, which I'm sure people would have been able to see on social media as well, just at the practices as well as the sort of press conferences, that the players are buying into it a little bit more as well. I think when we first
have, in my experience,
I don't know. When I've spoken to a couple in the past, and it's been like, this is for them was not a chore, but I feel like a bit of I want to be back in my own bed come the end of this game. But now I think they're really bought into it, really enjoying the sort of downtime. Their family coming over. We managed to catch up with Blake Ferguson's family that had flown over as well. And they've really enjoyed the trip over, and really enjoyed the fact that they can obviously watch their son in London. But yeah, another successful couple of games all round, bar the cups as you've mentioned, but overall pretty good. And in 6 years now of me doing this, I managed to catch one of those small foam balls that were pumped out into the crowd. So it's done.
You broke your laptop doing it.
But
I did almost drop the laptop. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, to me, a highlight was, obviously people have been speaking about it. I was waiting for this, the second national anthem, to see if it can compete with the first one. But the first national anthem, whoever is sick of us talking about it, I don't care. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It took your breath away. And do you know what I loved? Was that actually, because they set that bar so high with her up on the cockerel right at the top of the stadium, and the timing of the flyover and the fireworks, I actually liked that they didn't do that again for the second game, because it was like, that was so special in its own right. And then you look at who they had singing the anthems at the second game, and it was ex and current service people with phenomenal voices. And then they had the flyover again. So it was I found it very moving in a different way. They were two very separate entities. The first one was all show, and the second one was all meaning. And I think they managed that really well, I thought.
So let's get on to some of the games of over the weekend or Sunday. Also, the Seahawks have got a bit of problems here, because obviously they have lost Russell Wilson for a little while. The backup QB cannot actually, it was a bit of a shambles of that showing. But there's rumors now, lots of reports that the Seahawks have reached out to Cam Newton. Now, I'll start with Sam. Do you feel that he can actually save their season?
No, it's too far. I think it's too far gone in the NFC West as well. I think it's those where I think they'd be smart enough to take some downtime, get those draft picks, get that draft capital up. I think they've spent quite a bit when Jamal Adams went as well, so went across over there. So I think for them, be smart, take it on the chin. This season's not and protect Russell Wilson as well. Like right now, just it takes some downtime so he prolongs the year, because they shows how important he is. I know they're missing a few other pieces as well, but why go all out now? I think it's too far. I think it's too far gone. So why bring Cam in? Is it going to be a 1-year deal? If so, does he disrupt what's already around there? I know you're not his biggest fan, Dre. So I'm saying, like, when you look at it when he comes in, is he going to disrupt something for no reason? You know, what are they looking to achieve? And I'm not just saying that because the Cardinals are too far gone. I think it's just us, the 49ers and the Rams are so far ahead. Where do they even come into this? That I think just right now, just don't bother. Give Geno Smith the game time until Russ is up and ready to start cooking again.
I mean, I just don't think you can actively throw in the towel this early, and I think they've still got some room to be able to catch up. But unfortunately, Geno Smith's his showing the other day wasn't good enough at all. But Hannah, what do you feel? Do you feel it's worth them getting Cam Newton in?
I think it's two things. I think you're being a little bit harsh on Geno Smith. For one, they're missing a lot of other offensive weapons as well. They were having to run the ball a whole lot more than they usually do when Russell Wilson is healthy, and that takes some adjustment. And they still took it to overtime against what isn't a great Steelers team, but still they went the distance. Geno Smith himself, if he hadn't fumbled that ball, I think that result would have been very different. He's taken full responsibility for that. Pete Carroll went on to say that, yes, they've spoken to Cam Newton, but they speak to everyone of that who's available in that situation. I think even if Russell Wilson wasn't injured, it's still a conversation a lot of teams have. You have to put tabs on out there. I think Russell Wilson is coming back this season. So what is the purpose, the value, the benefit of bringing Cam Newton in now? Because what are you going to do with him when Russell Wilson's come back? You're then going to have to pay the guy as well. It's the dynamic. So no, I don't think that we'll bring in Cam Newton. I think they'll stick with it. I think if the rest of the Seahawks get sort of healthier, then I think it looks like a very different team. I think they'll hang on in there. It's a tough division, we know that, but there's still huge benefit. And also as well, Russell Wilson was unhappy in the summer. You've got it gives you an opportunity to say, right, if Russell Wilson left us at the end of this season, which I don't think he will, but you never know, crazy things happened. What are the areas that we actually really need to address? Because while Russell Wilson is in that team, he papers over all the cracks to an extent. So I don't think they'll bring in Cam Newton because I don't think it makes sense from a business perspective, the amount they'd have to pay him, then they're like lumbered with all these quarterbacks. I think, yeah. Stick with Geno. That'll be fine. I'm trying to see what their schedule is, but I mean, look, tough division. Someone's always has a tough year. Look at the 49ers last year. They got ravaged with injuries and then they struggled. That's the game. I think you stick with your guy. I don't think he's the worst backup QB in the league, put it that way.
No, I mean he hasn't started in such a long time.
Yeah,
I just think it's a lot to ask for him. And then also he actually, makes it more obvious as well what Russell Wilson was complaining about, obviously, before the season, at the end of the season, where it's just like, effectively, I'm not getting any protection here. And obviously his is a minor injury, but it obviously is having a major effect on the team. But yeah, just like they need something to keep the train going.
And also just looking at their schedule just now, just pulled it up. They've got the Saints this week who are so hit and miss. Then they've got Jacksonville, a bye week. Then it gets a bit trickier after the bye week with Green Bay and then the Cardinals. Then it's Washington, 49ers, Texans. So if you look at the schedule, there are some that you might find a way to win even without the strongest team available.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, I always root for the Seahawks. I always find them interesting, but obviously, I know that there's some individual agendas going on.
Not even in our radar. Not even in our radar.
Oh,
not bothered.
God. Honestly, I can't wait. Right, let's move on to the Browns. Obviously, I lost against the Cardinals last week. I rooted for them, and look what happened. You see, I did try, Browns fans. I did root for you, but nonetheless, Baker Mayfield's got a major injury. It looks like he's going to be out for a little while now. I'm not sure if this is going to actually derail, their chances of making the playoffs, so forth. But Hannah, there's a lot of talk about, in the press about them cashing in, trading Odell. Do you feel it's time for them to cash in? And who do you think, if they do, would be the best fit for Odell to go to?
Well, they made the playoffs without Odell last year. I haven't seen a contribution from him through 6 weeks of the season that makes me think, oh yeah, your guy's back. He's not been that productive on the field. Baker Mayfield has got other players that he goes to and he's got that rapport with and he's got that trust with. And there are some great offensive weapons on that team. They are currently banged up. So Baker Mayfield, it's his left shoulder. So it's his non-throwing shoulder. It's like the labrum. I'm not a doctor, obviously. But it's one of those things that once you've hurt it once, it's like to go again and again and again. So it's like you can play through it to an extent because it's not his throwing shoulder, but there's all those things to consider. Nick Chubb's out, Jarvis Landry's out, Kareem Hunt's hurt now as well. So they are banged up, and it's going to be a struggle for a few weeks while you try and wait for those guys to get healthy. OBJ, honestly, there's no team for me that is screaming out because we haven't seen OBJ for a couple of years now. He was injured all last year. He's done nothing much this year. I'm not sure what team would be desperate for him because he still commands a paycheck. I'm racking my brains. Like I think it's time for the Browns to cash in. If I was the Browns, I'd be like, yeah, get him off the roster, get the money in, etc. But off the top of my head, I'm struggling to think exactly where he could.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of talk from Stephen A. from ESPN for him to go to the Packers. He said that would make them a Super Bowl contending team.
Would it though? Maybe. Yeah, sure. Why not?
I think it helps. I think it helps him going there because then Devontae Adams doesn't get doubled up. If you look at what he has to throw to, they've always had Devontae Adams and they've had Scantlin, Tonyan. Like it's there's little pieces and then Adams. It's like stick Odell in. He's still a problem. We know he's still talented, so you stick him in that Packers team. Listen, he's a New Orleans boy as well, so he might want to return home, and I think he could actually fit in quite well within that Saints offense as well, potentially. But I actually think the Giants should take him back. I know you might not like that shout, but I actually think they should take him back. I mean, they should take them back, and they'll get more. I think they'll get more out of the deal from Giants than they would the Packers if they were looking to try and get a good deal for him. When you say sort of cashing it, I know I can see the corner of your mouth not liking that suggestion, but I'm saying just generally, I think you could do with him. But I'd actually fear for the league if he did go to the Packers. I actually do think he would be a good fit for the Packers, and I think they are the team. And I'm not just saying this; the team to actually keep an eye on for the Super Bowl if he did actually go in there for sure.
I think the a lot of the talk before was for him to go to the Rams for a little while ago before.
That's not going to happen now.
It wouldn't happen.
Not the way that offense is playing. That would just be stupid. Why add someone else in when Matthew Stafford, unless someone got hurt? Matthew Stafford is very clearly very happy with the receiving options he's got. You do not mess with the dynamic.
Exactly. I think what the problem is with Odell is like the name carries a lot of weight, but there's not as much productivity. However, he did obviously show a little bit of a old form against the Cowboys last season. But to be honest with you, but then he got injured again. So that's the problem with Odell. It's like big money.
He's being asked to block.
He's being asked to block. Your best ability is your availability, and at the moment, his track record makes him pretty unavailable. So, what value does that give a team? That's literally what comes down to for general managers, right? Like, yeah, I can pay all the money in the world for a guy. When he plays, he can be great. But how many games am I actually going to have him?
But the system in the Browns now, he's being asked to block so much more. And Odell's he's not a big receiver, I think when he goes up and he's making their blocks, that's why I think he's getting banged up a little bit more. If you look at the Browns and their receivers, they're asked to block a hell of a lot, like more so than I would expect Odell to go and do at someone like the Packers or even the Giants at this point. So save the man a little bit, I think, as well. Like, can't write him off.
No, I think we've got enough problems with the Giants rather than adding Odell to the pot as well. So I'll move on quickly from the Giants, definitely for sure. Let's move on to the Packers. The Packers now. Packers. It was quite entertaining for Aaron Rodgers fans when he said to the Bears fans, like, "I own you, and I still own you." I got great entertainment from that. I love him being cocky, but there's been some backlash against it. Now, Hannah, do you feel that he was Aaron Rodgers was too cocky and punching down at the Bears fans?
No, he's beaten them 22 times his career and lost them 5 times. Like, it's sport. And the record speaks for itself. He was fired up. He's on the field. He said in the post-game press conference that sometimes on the field you just black out. And then he gave it context. There was a woman in the stand. He said he ran in for touchdown, looked up, and there was a woman in the stand giving him the double bird. And then he just blacked out. Like, that's right. Here's the thing. Everyone kicks off about this sort of stuff. But if these players showed no personality, no fire, no spark, this would be a considerably less entertaining sport to be involved with, a spectator of, a fan of. I'm here for it. I love it. Let him be. Let him live. Who cares?
We didn't get to see it because we was watching. We was stuck at the stadium. But I don't know if we got a flag for that, or did anyone hear it, or
taunting the crowd is not taunting.
Oh, really? Is that so? Like, that's confusing.
Taunt the crowd, not other players, and you're not getting a flag.
But you could get thrown a flag for a double pump. Like,
what was funny, and this, like, I rewound this several times. So yesterday I was going back through and watching the sort of 10-minute highlights of all the games, because like you, I missed everything being at Spurs and it taking forever to get home. But what was interesting was I had to go back a few times, because on the 10-minute edit on Game Pass, they left that out. They just had him score the touchdown and they left it out. And I mean, I get it, because I suppose he was, like, impassioned, but I did note it. I was like, I see you, Game Pass, editing out the controversy.
Oh, come on. That's all the fun of it. Sam, what say you, sir?
I'm all for it. Listen, like Hannah just said, these guys are so pumped up, and if they didn't, oh, sorry, scored a touchdown. Sorry, like you can't do that.
Just shake hands and move on.
And damn right, it's a rivalry as well. It's not just any old game. It's a big rivalry. And as Hannah just put that stat down there, the Chicago Bears fans should just sit down every time they do a touchdown. Here we go again. So he does. And you know what? He's been under. He always for some reason at some point throughout the season, Aaron Rodgers always gets doubters. I don't know what it is. There's always someone doubting him or questioning something he's done or he's going to be doing. So do you know what? Damn right. Keep it up, Aaron Rodgers. You bad man. Like, do it all day long.
I absolutely loved it. I love that type of stuff. Chirping at the crowd and the crowd giving them the bird back. Love it, honestly. And long may that continue. I don't know who's going to take over that type of mantle. It was Baker. Baker was quite spiky.
I'm sorry. Baker doesn't have the skills to back it up. Like, you can only get away with that stuff if you are Aaron Rodgers, reigning MVP of like last season, broke a ton of records, threw for over 40 touchdowns. There are some people that they do that, we laugh at them. Aaron Rodgers does it, we don't touch him. Tom Brady does it, we bow down. Russell Wilson, fine. It'd still be too soon for Kyler Murray. Despite how well he's playing, he still has to pay his dues.
Mm-hmm.
There is literally a handful of players who can do that.
100%.
You hear that, Murray? You hear that, Mayfield? You can't talk. You have to earn it.
How's Danny Dimes going?
I think there's probably like an over 35 rule on it as well. Like, you have to have been like a gnarly old competitor that's been around a bit.
You got to have the ring. You got to have the ring before you start.
You have to have a ring.
Unless you're Rodgers.
He's got one.
He's got one. Yeah. And several MVPs. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take your seat there.
Black and white.
Well, let's go on to the
for the pod, Dre. You're welcome. Moving on.
Exactly. Let's go on to the power rankings now. Now we've had 6 weeks of games. Now it's time. I think we've been able to give enough time to be able to look around and see what you think. Now I'm going to go with Sam first of all. Power rankings. You better not have the Cardinals as number one.
Who else?
Why not? Why not?
God.
Why not? I'm not even. This isn't in fanboy. No, I saw. Do you know what? And shout out to OC as well, because I saw OC and Jason Bell going at this as well. Jason Bell saying that we shouldn't be number one. Jason, take a seat, right? OC, well played. Because seriously, how can you not have a team that is 6-0, haven't lost a game, not be number one? I don't understand. How, like, everyone else has lost a game. Wait, Hannah. Wait.
What you said about the Steelers last year? I'm just saying.
Wait. Just saying. Listen, 6-0. Actually, you know what? And this Sunday was the test. We had a banged up team. I know the Browns were banged up, but so were we. We had no head coach. Last minute additions where the guys like saying, "Look, here's the playbook. You go off and you make those decisions." But we went and done it, and every time people are just waiting for us to slip up.
Yeah,
so damn right, and that's it. And I've got 2 people on the pod right now waiting for us to slip. But I'm saying just generally right now, we're playing good football. The thing is, we're not just scraping this like 13-10. We're not just watching these games and going, oh, we've grinded these games out. We are giving people beat downs, right? And look, you can give me the snarl as much as you like, Dre. I can see it. Beat downs. Convincingly beat downs.
It's a long nightmare.
It is a long nightmare. I can't wait. I'm glad I'm living in it. Listen, the power rankings, I don't think, listen, and I'll say this, and I'll bring myself down a little bit, just a little bit, it is a long season. It is a long season. But right now, and you say this a number of times, Dre, right now, in this very moment of this week of the power rankings, it doesn't lie. And look, we're in
that long soliloquy. What is your top 5?
Obviously, Cardinals, the Bills, the Rams. I think you've got to have the Packers up there and the Bucks. I don't think it changes it. Is that 5?
You're not older. You got them 5. You got them
5th. No, Bucks 4th. Bucks 4th. Packers 5th. Yeah.
Ooh, Hannah.
I keep looking for cracks in the Cardinals. And it's really frustrating to me that I cannot yet identify any. And I'm really I mean, look, what they did on Sunday against the Browns with their assistant receivers coach, Spencer Whipple, calling plays was phenomenal. It was the first time Kyler Murray's played an NFL game without Cliff Kingsbury in his ear. You wouldn't know it. And that speaks volumes about the organization, the setup, and, just how well drilled they are, the belief of every single person. Like the assistant receivers coach calling plays, like not just like the next guy down, but like the guy all the way over here and down a bit. Yeah, really impressive. And defensive, do you know what I was thinking about this weekend? Is that when JJ Watt went to the Cardinals, everyone was like, what is the usual? Okay. Now we're seeing what he saw and why he made that move. And the flip actually with his brother from last year up in Pittsburgh, I find quite interesting. Right, so loath as I am to do it, do you know what? It's actually really hard, this, especially the NFC, because the NFC right now, coming into this season, we were all talking about the AFC, right? NFC is stacked right now. So Cardinals, Bills, and I'm going to go, hold on, I wrote these down. Cardinals, Bills. Then this is where I start to struggle because, like, based on this week, I'd probably put the Cowboys up there.
Okay. Yeah. That's agreed.
The Ravens as well, but then I've got to get my Rams and the Packers and the Bucks in. So can I do? You can almost do a top 5 AFC, NFC right now, and it's really tough, really tough. There's I think. For me, the AFC, it's like Bills, Ravens. I'm still going to put the Chargers up there, even though like they lost to the Ravens. I think that, that's a bad day, but I think that's still up there. And then I put the Chiefs sort of lowly down in 4th. But the NFC is tough because right now, the Rams, the Cardinals, Cowboys, Packers, Bucks, they went 5-0 this week. And they're all looking like solid teams. So some people are going to be really disappointed come January. That's my take.
Yeah, I've got the I've still got the Bucks ahead of everyone else.
Here's the thing with the
definitely.
Bucks. And right now, I don't. But I think overall, at the end of the season, they'll be right up there because they're just a little bit banged up at the moment.
Right now.
Are
we doing based on week 6? So are we doing? Oh,
get out of here, Trey.
It's hard. It's good. It's great. That's why we love this league. Can't predict these
I've got the Bills ahead of them too. And anyone else I can throw in there as well. So no.
Where's the eject button?
So I can't do it. I just can't. Hannah, this weekend on Sky. We will actually be in our homes watching it in our comfy pajamas and, not around flying cups. So what have we got on the Sky this weekend?
I'm actually quite excited just to sit and slob out watching these games.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it feels like a long time since I had a good football session on that there sofa. So she says, looking and forgetting, 6 o'clock game. 6 o'clock game is the Bengals at Baltimore. And actually, this one is so interesting right now. Although it's 65-6 to the Ravens when they met last year, the Bengals are looking good. They're fun to watch. They've already slain one AFC North giant in the Steelers. Ravens are sort of red hot at the moment. So yeah, I'm here for that one. I think it's going to be fun. Big test for the Ravens defense, I think, because we're seeing more and more from them, and we're seeing, they sort of shut the run game down as well this weekend, but I'm interested for that one. And then again, I'm looking at the list right now because off the top of my head, Bears Bucks. It's Bears Bucks at 9 o'clock. Yes, we can get a good look at Dre's number 1 ranked Buccaneers.
Exactly.
Again.
Another beat down for the Bears. Definitely, there's no hope in hell them winning that one. That's for sure.
I mean, it'll be a good test for Justin Fields. It'll be great for his development and education as a NFL football player.
Did he not get that when he got sacked about 1 million times in that game? Like, welcome to the NFL, son.
That kid's going to be spending a lot of time in the ice bath, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then Sunday night, it's Colts 49ers, and Monday Night Football is Saints Seahawks, which is actually quite intriguing considering
nice game.
The Saints got no idea where they are week to week, and then the Seahawks are sort of figuring things out with Geno Smith. So them.
Maybe Cam come in. Maybe, you never know.
No, it's not going to happen, Dre. Move on. You get so overexcited about stupid.
Let it go, man.
Listen. I need someone to mix up in that division. I need an unexpected team to come and ruin things, definitely. But the Cardinals will win this weekend because they're facing the Texans. So things will remain as they are.
Then they've got a quick turnaround Thursday Night Football against the Packers. So
yeah, see, and that's where the beatdown will happen. That's when it will happen. But we'll talk about that next week. That's for sure.
What I will say is the Cardinals' schedule is really annoying because it's actually quite easy, and you can only play the schedule in front of you. But okay,
we actually up to now we've had the 4th hardest schedule across. If you looked at their outlets, what people said, and have we lost? No.
Yeah,
so enjoy it now because it will come down. Don't worry.
Texans, then Packers hard, then 49ers who banged up, Carolina week to week up and down, Seahawks banged up, week 12 bye, then the Bears, then the Rams. We'll get you back. Then the Lions.
What's their closest game to Christmas? I'm trying to work it out.
On Christmas Day, they play the Colts.
Right. That's when it will happen. That's the thing I want to happen. George will be back. Unfortunately, George is not well. The bug has hit him. But that's when it will happen.
No, we'll be his Christmas Grinch again. He's gonna have a soz. But no, it's not. It's not happening. Listen, will we go through this season undefeated? No, we will lose. We will lose a game, I'm sure. And do you know what? The Panthers always seem to get the job done against us. It's really, really frustrating. I'm actually going to say that's when we actually drop. It will be against the Panthers. And
interesting.
I actually think that. I think it'll be a banana skin against the Panthers. But can I just run shout out to Jamal Chase? Because this guy, as a rookie, but just generally all round, watching this rookie right now is actually phenomenal. Like, he looks like a seasoned wide receiver in the NFL because not only is he there sort of catching, getting the route running really good, but that block he did obviously for Joe Mixon for the touchdown on Sunday was unreal. Like, because you just wouldn't expect that intelligence, and he did put someone on the floor, very Derrick Henry-esque, who once again was back to his usual self.
Yeah. And I just want to say, like, obviously a big thanks to the NFL UK for looking after us and making sure we get lots and lots of interviews. We've blitzed you guys here on social media, on the site, so forth, with NFL content, and that's because of them. So we want to thank you so much for looking after us and giving us some sweet seats as well. Really appreciate that.
Just all those guys, I don't think it can be underestimated how hard everyone at NFL UK works around these games. Like, I was in their office yesterday to do her huddle, and that is a broken group of individuals. They work so hard. They give it their all. And yeah, here's to them. You go team.
So salute to you guys, Playbook as well, who was working with them, because these, as Hannah said, you guys have been working non-stop. I saw them look like broken individuals towards the end of the game.
They're broken before the teams even land. Like
Just the
like,
glare of like, oh my God, when is this going to be over? But and then shout out to the German fans, especially, because they really, we met loads of them this over the last couple of weeks, and it's been really, it's made me really excited to actually go over there and watch the games there. So we're gonna go over there and drink and be merry over there. But until then, we're gonna head off into the sunset. We can enjoy our games on our sofas this weekend. No cold stadium to be in. We're gonna enjoy it just like you guys. But until then, we'll catch you next week. Peace.